Alright, everybody, I am here, joined with Ferrets. Hello, Argo Ferrets, how are you? Ferrets, stop being a poo head.
Yeah, but why did you call me Argo Ferrets though?
Because your favourite ship won the ship showdown today.
It's not my favorite ship.
It is, Argo. You're going to paint your face like an Argo, don't you? Didn't you say that?
No, that was John Crew, right?
Actually, I think it was Jay Lee. I'm not sure who it was. But anyway, guys, obviously, yes, the Argo did win. I did vote for the Star Runner. I had to vote for my baby. And it was really close, too. At one point, there was like 100 votes or something in it. Right, so let's go through. Today, guys, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to do a breakdown of Inside Star Citizen, mainly because at the end of the day, this actually has a lot of information in it. And, we could sit here and, go through all the stuff. But to be honest, let's just show you what it is and then we'll talk about it after each section. So this might be a little bit of a longer video, so enjoy. And Ferrets is watching it with me now, so let's break it down. Alright, so we don't need to watch the intro because it's just Jared. So, the first thing...
The most important part right there, though.
Nah, it's not. Right, so the first thing.
Anyway, let's get to it. Starting things off this week, let's go with the EUPU feature team. Now, as part of their work on loot generation, the EUPUFT has been working on a variety of locked crates for players to discover throughout the persistent universe. Like some that would require use of a cutting tool to open, or in this case,
never mind. I found it.
You'll have to secure
I was looking for the volume.
elsewhere in your travels.
Couldn't find it.
1, 2, 3, 4. Amanda, remind me to change the combination of my luggage.
I mean,
The same team has been
right, so let's talk about that. Loot boxes that are now lockable. Very interesting. I'm looking forward to that, actually. I think they're copying some of the ideas that actually Elite Dangerous put in. Because they said that you're going to be able to use a cutting tool to also open some of them. And others you're going to need a code. So, which you're going to have to find from someone else. So maybe might be like a captain that has the codes or something like that. Or it might be written on like a notepad stuck on like a Port Others window. Something like that. So at the end of the day, I like that idea. I like the fact that you have to actually find these codes, and it's going to add gameplay loops. What are your thoughts on the locked chests?
It's definitely gonna. It's definitely going to be a different approach because, you're going to have to go out and find the codes for that locked box, but that doesn't mean the locked box has to stay there. You can take it with you.
So if we wind back, was there an option to pick it up?
like some
Well,
would require use
the
of a
probably,
cutting tool to open, or in this
the
case,
probably not. But
combination
remember,
you'll have to secure the
we
station
have
for
the
elsewhere
tractor
in your
beam
travels.
gun,
True.
and later on we're going to get a bigger one.
So it just has open, right? And at the end of the day, I do wonder if the tractor beam mightn't work on it. You might be right. You might be able to take it with you and then try and crack it open later, and you might be able to sit there and try and crack the code or something. But
Maybe.
But if you do that, I imagine you're probably going to lose the code because I imagine the code would have to be somewhere close. So it might be like on an inventory on like a captain, or it might be written on the wall, or whatever it may be, right? So if you start move the box around, that could cause problems.
But he didn't specify that. He said that you would have to go out and find it.
True. So it could be over at Grimhex and the box might be over at Demo or whatever it may be. But I imagine they're not going to make it so it's that far away. Because, how would you know which code is for which box?
I mean, if you think about it, it's not as if a bank is just going to have the codes to the vault on a piece of paper nearby.
No,
So
but
it
you
would
do have
be-
people who are stupid enough to write the password for their on their computers and stick it on a notepad and stick it on the screen.
Maybe.
No, it definitely happens. My at work, my boss's password is literally on a post-it note stuck to the bottom of his monitor.
That sucks for him.
Yeah, but anyway, moving along. Apart from that, we want to try and sort of keep it quiet, keep it small, because otherwise this video is going to be like going for ages. So, do you want to jump into the next section?
Not going to happen. This thing's going to go on for quite a while. Trust me.
Let's jump into the next section then.
The same team has been working on laser trip mines, feature requested by our turbulent team in Montreal to help make the exploration of derelicts throughout the verse just a little more exciting and dangerous than ever before. One of the big things to work out, besides proximity detonations, was to properly physicalize any of the items being used to detonate them, like these boxes, so that they react to the force of the explosions themselves. Now, these crates are currently at a high health value for testing, but you can expect them to be tuned just a little bit, so they too will be damaged or destroyed when used in this manner. And then, of course, when physicalized damage comes online later down the road, the lifespan of these crates will simply be determined by things like material makeup and construction type. While this test level is designed just to play with a multitude of ways for disposing of mines, this is also a pre-VFX pass. So you can expect things like the lasers and effects you're witnessing to continue to evolve beyond what you're seeing here. And because the team is smart and has played online video games before, they're also experimenting with the potential of Rube Goldberg chain reactions that will inevitably be created by players. Because why kill someone with a single explosion when you can use 7? That's what Grandma always said. Checking in with...
Alright, Disco's Grandma aside, what are your thoughts on the trick ones?
They will be the main source of assault, and people will use them for trolling.
Yes, which I am totally on board for. And also, I just want to say, if we can have some sort of explosive vest, that would really, really help, presumably before we get to Season 4, Episode 10. So, yeah, I like the idea. I like this. I presume it's going to be obviously used for defending, places, defending bases, defending caves and stuff like that. I'm on board. I love the idea. And to be honest, I think, I love the fact that it's physicalized. I love the fact that you can set them off with like a box or a person or whatever. And I love the fact that they were able to move the boxes around in space by simply having them explode. That is... everything there I loved. I really, really loved it. What are your thoughts, quickly?
Going to be a main source of trolling.
Cool. So, trolling for the win.
Trolling for the win, basically.
Alright, Fleet Manager. Let's jump into this.
For the UI team, they've recently completed a sprint converting the ASOP terminals we all know and tolerate from their original Flash implementations to everyone's favorite building blocks. Now, while the overall look here may appear similar at this moment, this switchover will not only allow us to improve the styling and functionality of it going forward, but also make it much easier to fix many of the bugs that have plagued ASOP over the years. Also, it'll just run faster in building blocks instead of Flash. And when it comes to performance in a game this big, every win counts.
I was trying to look at some of the ships that they've listed there. They've got the Avenger Stalker, Avenger Titan, Avenger Warlock, Gladius. I saw the Redeemer there, actually.
This big, also make it much easier to fix many of the bugs that have plagued ASOP over the years. Also, it'll
Gladius, Hammerhead, Reclaimer, Retaliator, Saber.
just run faster.
So the Vanguard, Harbinger, Warden.
Building blocks instead of
Nothing that's too surprising. All right, what are your thoughts on the new Fleet Manager ASOP terminals? Thoughts, opinions?
It looks good, but I mean, like he said, it doesn't look like a lot has changed. Maybe the actions are a bit smoother, but
But the biggest thing is it gets rid of flash. It's going under
Good.
building blocks, which is good because of performance, and also because it helps obviously with the look of it and everything like that. But the biggest thing is that it's going to allow them to go through and do bug hunting and find those glitches and bugs that they can actually go through and possibly fix, like duplicating ships.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, while it doesn't look like it's going to bring a lot to the table, this is probably one of the biggest things that we're going to see in probably this whole sprint report. It's going to be overlooked. People aren't going to realize how important it is. But no, yeah, it is really important that they get all this converted from Flash to building blocks because of just simply bug hunting and also performance too. So, yeah. You want to jump onto the next thing?
Yep.
In other smaller task completed recently was the addition of disconnection screens for a variety of monitors throughout Squadron 42 in the persistent universe. Now, while many screens already have a variety of states such as on and off, damaged, or disconnected, when that signal was disconnected previously, they just kinda appeared no different than the off state. Sure, it's a small thing, but just like the performance gains replacing Flash, these smaller interaction states are what often add up to make a universe that behaves and feels as players expect them to. And that's called immersion. Go ahead and drink. Next up.
Right. The screens, like he says, there's nothing big. It's immersion, and I'm completely fine with them working on that for immersion. I like the fact that the screens might get disconnected because of a connection problem. Maybe they're gonna have maybe a ship takes damage and the screens disconnect because there's a break in the data conduit, whatever it may be. I like that idea. It brings immersion. It's only small. It's not going to drastically affect the game in any way. It's not like it's a new ship or anything that we can all, cream our pants over. But at the end of the day, it's just immersion. And I'm okay with that. What are your thoughts?
I'd like it because it adds to the atmosphere.
Immersion, yeah. This next one's big, guys. Let's talk about this after we watch it.
Also completed a first pass at some of the interfaces for EUPU's upcoming mining gadgets. Items we've discussed previously that can be placed directly onto the bigger or more formidable asteroids that will allow players to tackle the mineable foes they otherwise may not be able to, or to simply improve the results on others they can. They're also a neat example of some of the ways the style sheet functionality of building blocks can make similar interfaces look different depending on the manufacturer. Keep an eye on the public roadmap for when mining gadgets will make their way into the persistent universe. Moving on over...
Right. Mining gadgets. Holy shit. I love that idea.
Does that thing blow up?
I presume it does, yeah. I'm getting some serious flashbacks to Elite Dangerous. You've played Elite, haven't you?
Sadly.
Yeah. Don't be like that. All right. So, have you ever gone deep core mining with the with like limpets and stuff like that?
I have, yeah.
Yeah. This interface here reminds me of that. This is the Star Citizen version of that, where you have to go through. Obviously, there's a mini game. You can see here that you have to get the percentage waveform accuracy. You have to get that up to, I presume, as close as you can. And I presume, obviously, the closer you get it, the more richer materials you will get. I presume, obviously, it's, if you go detonate and when it's at 54%, you might only get 3 kilos of laranite, for example. But if you donate it at 99, you might get 5 kilos, for example, right? So I imagine the more accurate the waveform accuracy, the better the resources are you're going to pull out of the rock. I presume. That's my guess. But at the end of the day, Star Citizen, can you put in the similar sound effects that Elite Dangerous use in space?
They'll make up their own, and it's going to sound beautiful.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I want sound effects like that explosion when I'm asteroid mining in space. Because that was probably one of the best things in Elite. I loved deep core mining just because of the explosion sound effects. And look, I'm not saying Star Citizen does a bad job with sound effects, nowhere near. But that sound effects in Elite was, dude, that was 3 thumbs up, dick rock hard. You know, like, yeah, it sounds so freaking good. And I always said to people it was a shame that Star Citizen doesn't have something similar. Well, obviously we now do, coming in soon. I don't know when this is coming in, but if they're showing it in a sprint report, probably going to be early or mid next year. What are your thoughts on the device and what it does and the mining?
I can't wait to see what it does, and it's definitely gonna serve for some interesting to kill videos.
Yeah, well, it does make you wonder if you'd be able to put this on the side of a ship and detonate it. You know, or put it on the side of a habitat and blow a hole in the wall or whatever it may be. So, yeah.
Of building blocks.
So, like I say, and it's using building blocks, which is good too. This next piece is probably the low light out of the video, but that's only because everything else was like so nice, but we'll cover it.
Moving on over to characters, if you've ventured throughout the persistent universe, I'm sure that you've noticed the growing amount of branded locations popping up here and there, but with the employees wearing seemingly random outfits. Well, the time on the sprint wheel has come to begin early look dev on branded uniforms for those NPCs you encounter. The idea here is to create a series of modular options where the color palette and logo can be easily swapped from place to place, or even unlogoed to be used for random food carts, or maybe even the surgeons and Grimhex. You know those folks don't have certifications, right?
Excuse me.
Ian, I'm begging. Please let me walk into a hospital in Grimhex and see a dude with a bloody whammer's apron on doing work. I don't want to ask.
That's oddly specific.
Sometimes I do.
You can imagine that, actually.
The character team has also been developed.
Right, like I say, it's probably the lowest point of the video, but that's just because everything else is so good. They look cool. They look really, really good. But to be honest, yeah, it's just immersion, really. It's just for immersion sort of stuff. Thoughts and opinions?
New shirts win.
Developing a system for what we call theta geo, which is additive geometry that only appears when one or more items in a set are combined on the player. It's
This is
like
big.
the reverse of zone culling, which some of you might remember hides the puffy shirts from clipping through and appearing outside of the slim jacket you wear on top of it. What theta geo allows us to do is to maintain modularity that allows you to wear almost any helmet with any chest or arms or legs you want, but add a specific visual flair when you choose to wear armor or clothing of the same thematic set. Now you can see here a player character already wearing the upcoming RRS Light Specialist helmet while equipping a non-matching torso. This works as normal. Helmet from one set, torso from another. But when the player equips the matching RRS torso found in box number 2, the additive cowl that's part of the helmet is now displayed. It's tech like this that will serve to unlock our character artists to go bigger and bolder in their designs than ever before. And
Right, now, obviously, they're going to go through and they're going to talk about this armor set, and we'll separate it. What are your thoughts on the Theta Geo?
It will actually be kind of important because it's going to fix a lot of the problems of shirts of phasing out the side of your armor and things like that.
Okay, so that's actually something else. That's culling. Theta Geo is just the fact that the net culling, for example. So if I go back to the armor, right. So when he doesn't have the matching torso, he just has that, right? See the neck? There's nothing there. But when he changes it and puts the torso on, there, see that around the neck? See that extra sort of neck place? That there, that's the Theta JO. So when you're wearing a torso and helmet that is the same brand or the same model, you'll get that extra flare on your armor. So, it might be a piece of electrical wire that joins to the helmet. It might be, a back of a neck culling sort of thing. It might be like this net sort of thing. It could be whatever they want it to be. But the best part about it is it's going to allow you to match your armor all together and then allow you to get that extra sort of look or that extra flare and whatnot. And yeah. And considering most of us actually walk around in complete sets, except for you apparently, at the end of the day...
Excuse me, what now?
Your character. I had to go through and find your armor set. Mr. I like to mix and match. But anyway, but as I was saying, as for most of us like to walk around in complete sets, so it's going to be cool. Like I walk around I walk with Morningstar helmet, but the starts with I, and it's not Invictus, it's Inquisitor set. So obviously, then I would get that Theta Geo for having the complete set. So. Yeah. Thoughts and opinions?
It's pretty good.
I like it. It's nothing big. It's all cosmetic. It's probably not going to do a lot for armor or buff or anything like that. But at the end of the day, it's just going to allow you to have that extra cosmetic look to say, hey, look at me, I've got a set. So yeah, it's a bit showy, but it's cosmetic. So. Right, so the armor, obviously on display here, and he also makes mention about something about CitizenCon, about the CitizenCon information comes out tomorrow. So maybe it's going to be a part of the digital goodies pack.
Either that, or I predict maybe active camo, or some type of active camo. Because remember. This armor set is supposed to be a light stealth armor.
Yeah, but he says about where you can get it, though, doesn't he? Hang on, let's listen.
And if you want to learn more about the new RSS Light Specialist armor, you might want to check out the new Digital CitizenCon webpage.
Oh, no, you're right. He says if you want to know more about it, so maybe it might have some sort of stealth or something.
Maybe. Who knows? I don't know.
Some sort of stealth tech or something built into it? I'm not quite sure. We'll find out tomorrow, presumably. But no, you're right. Yeah, I was wrong. Apart from that, obviously we'll find out tomorrow, but apart from that aspect of it, anything else you want to put on the armor? I think it looks cool.
Yeah, I'm probably going to pick me up some of that.
It's live tomorrow. Hint, hint.
He says hint, hint. It means something.
Yeah.
Experienced team has been working on several features, including bombing, which we'll discuss next week and beyond.
So bombing next week.
Here's a fun look at progress on the new eject cam. Whee!
Hilarious.
I don't know if it's needed, but okay.
Not
whatever.
really.
It sort of breaks the immersion a little bit because it's sort of taking you out of first person, but Apart from that, I don't know. It just, yeah.
And a look at the ongoing progress of integrating actor status intoxication effects into vehicle operation, such as applying them to the player's control of their spaceship. Now, in the debug text you can see in the upper left, the raw reading is what the player is actually doing with their controls. And for these demonstration purposes, that's not much or barely anything at all. But the number to the left of that is the actual values being applied by your player character to the ship by their sluggish and imprecise reflexes. Yeah, don't drink and fly, my friends. But definitely do walk up behind your pilot in a Hercules or a Constellation and shoot that new healing drug ray of yours at the back of their head for some real happy fun times. Tell them Disco sent you. And if intoxication and atmosphere isn't enough, here it is in space. And in ground vehicles. And finally, even in turrets, where some of us can still work pretty well like this. Nice speed bender. Flying along.
Right. I like it. It's a bit of immersion. Adds a bit of gameplay as well, because obviously now people are going to go, well, I've been drinking. Is that going to affect my character? Blah blah blah. It's nothing real big, but it's definitely part of the new system when it comes to characters' health and at the end of the day, eventually down the line, they also want to make it so that if you do a drug raid, for example, and you take cover behind slam and someone shoots the slam, then obviously you'll have the side effects of the drug going in your mouth and nose. So it's all leading towards that sort of stuff, and I like it. It's obviously not real big, but at the end of the day, it's going to cause a little bit extra gameplay, and I think it's fun. What are your thoughts?
Don't drink in and fly, or else the space popo is gonna find you and drag you in.
It does make you wonder what will happen if you are drunk and the cops pull you over. Do they get a breathalyzer?
Maybe.
Let's keep going.
As Ship Showdown barrels towards its thrilling conclusion, and y'all already destroyed my bracket this year, so
I think he's just the Carrick.
Viva la Argo Cargo, I say. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the ships that will no doubt be competing in next year's event, like the Ares Starfighter, where the team has recently completed a sprint detailing out all of the component bays, making certain they're all labeled and animated correctly. As well as completing a pass on the landing gear that makes them feel appropriately super chunky and stout, in the words of the inimitable Ben Curtis. Of course, what you really want to see is this look at the final art stage exterior for both the Ares Ion and the Ares Inferno. And you know what? This is still work in progress. Are Crusader ships the best looking ships?
Yes.
Let's go for an all Crusader Final Four in next year's Ship Showdown. Because that means John Crew has to make my Genesis. Please.
Right. Quick thoughts and opinions on the Ares and the. I think they look nice. I think they look really good.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, Crusader ships really do look really, really amazing. Actually, looking forward to getting it and playing with it. I don't own one, but that it might be enough to make me wanna to buy a Crusader pack. Who knows?
Also continues in the Aegis Redeemer, which was recently the first recipient of a new developmental work on the glow shader, which previously didn't allow artists to turn them off when they wanted. This tended to limit the place and manner in which they could be used on ships. That's important because glows like this are made at the vehicle material layer. And while there will still be VFX layered on top of them in the final product, these underlying material glows can save on VFX particle budget when appropriate And that means artists can use them in new ways and places where we don't necessarily want something to appear on at all the times, and maybe get some VFX performance gains along the way. Special shout out to Rob Dickinson for his work here. On the Redeemer's
Alright, as for the glows, I think they're good. I think they look great, and I think it's going to add immersion, and also it'll help save on resources. So I'm looking forward to that. Thoughts?
My ship looks beautiful.
The Redeemer.
Mhm.
We weren't supposed to be talking about that just yet. Nothing to say about the glows?
That is part of the Redeemer, so...
Technically, I suppose, yeah. Alright, let's get going.
side, the team continues to work on final polish all around while building their work list for final tweaks before it's go time. The team also spent a little bit of time experimenting with adding some motion aspects into the interior, but, well, let's just say some people like it and some people don't. And we're still going to play with it, but don't be surprised.
Not a huge fan of that, actually.
I hate it.
A big part of development is experimentation, and it will remain.
Absolutely hate it. I think it looks absolutely stupid.
Steampunk Choo Choo survives until the finish line. The EU
Right. So you like it, do you?
I do not like it, no.
Ah, okay. I thought you said you liked it.
No, I don't like it.
No, I hate it. I think it looks absolutely fucking stupid. Yeah.
The team is also making their way through Grey Box on the Drake Vulture, the entry-level salvage ship intending to make its way into the persistent universe next year. Now, Grey Box is mostly about experimenting with detail, either adding it to the places that work, or removing it from where it tends to get too busy, all while laying the groundwork for final art phase to begin soon after. Looking good, Vulture. From final art...
Thoughts on the Vulture?
Happy I have one.
I think it looks very boxy. I'm not sure about the cabin.
It's supposed to. It's Drake.
I'm not saying I hate Drake, but if there was another light salvage out there, I would switch.
Yeah, but there isn't, so...
No, which is why I've still got the Vulture.
Again soon after.
I don't know, it just looks very boxy around the cockpit area. I like everything else, it's just that...
To Grey Box, let's go back to White Box, where I'm proud to announce work has begun on building out the Hull A, entry-level variant of the famed Hull C from Musashi Industrial and Starflight Concern. Now in White Box phase, this process began by importing the recently revised 3D concept mesh into engine and ensuring that it itself is functional. Now you might be saying, recently revised concept? Yeah, some minor changes had to be made because player and ship metrics have evolved quite a bit since it was first introduced, and important studies have shown players like to fit inside their spaceships. On the inside, in its collapsed state, it's looking very similar to the size of the Prospector players are already familiar with, complete with a cockpit in front, a component area just behind, an airlock, and then habitation in the rear of the front half. And as White Box work continues, the team will be evaluating space for the various components, as well as a potential reduction in CST. That's cockpit struck thickness, a malady that can strike any MISC or RSI ship at a moment's notice. And one Origin ship, but we fixed that. There's also...
I wonder what ship he's talking about there when he says Origin. Is he talking about the 890 or the 600?
I mean, it has to be one of those two.
Or it could be the 300. Oh, I know. It's the 400i.
So a re-examination of
we forgot about that one.
On as AI NPC passengers need just a little more room to do things than players. Yeah. Eventually, pooping AI will be on the roadmap. You can bug Jake Bradley for the win.
So I like it. I really, really like the Hawaii. I think it looks amazing in its collapsed state, and the fact that it's landing gear and stuff. I love it. I really do. Makes me actually want to go out and buy one. Actually, what are your thoughts?
I'm not a big fan of the whole idea of having to watch the NPCs go poop.
Well, I imagine they'll close the door.
You would hope so.
Phase is also
Makes you wonder, you're going to have to buy air fresheners too if they've eaten lots of beans or something?
Oh no.
where we test things like landing gear position so the ship doesn't fall over, which is extra special important with the Hull A because of its expanding and contracting substructure, where timings are being adjusted, and especially the clearances, because the Hull A is intended to successfully make landing both collapsed and with its cargo racks fully
That's
expanded
big.
and filled. But Disco, what about my Hull C?
So I like the fact that the Hull A can actually land collapsed or uncollapsed. Expanded.
Just for that one though.
Yeah. I don't know if the Hull B is going to be able to do it.
Well, the team has also brought the original beast out of the mothballs it's been sitting in for a while and begun to update it to modern vehicle art standards, including an updated thruster trim sheet.
God, that Hull C looks nice.
Nice. New headlights up front. Nice. And crucially, upgrading the materials all over with the recent hard surface shader in a comparison you can see here. May we never speak of the Ilum shader ever again. They've also gone back and added VTOL thrusters, missing from when the ship was last worked on, because while it won't be able to land fully laden like its Hull A little sibling, you can still expect to do so in its collapsed state. Inside the ship, work continues making many of the same types of upgrades to materials, signage, and general scale, including cutaways for many of the new components that have been developed since the Hull C was last worked on. Finally,
Alright, Hull C, what's your thoughts?
I'm happy that I got one.
You suck. Yeah, no, it looks really nice. I always did think about buying the Hull C. But yeah, it does look really nice, and it does make me want to think about buying it as well. Yeah, this is the problem with Star Citizen, right? Ships look so damn nice. Also, because of this, we're going to have to update the trailer, right?
What?
Because of this next segment, we're going to have to update the trailer.
I don't. Oh, yeah. I was gonna say I don't remember that, but okay, yeah.
Alright, let's do this last section and talk about it, and then jump off.
Olisar is moving, but only a little bit. Now that Crusader is fully integrated into the stand system, Olisar kind of stood out because it was the only major planetary station not in geosynchronous orbit over its landing zone. So it's being moved over to the left a little. And the views have never been better. So what?
Alright, the views are definitely amazing. Alright, what are your thoughts?
Well, I thought Port Olisar was getting destroyed, so
It's not getting destroyed, it's getting redone.
I'm just messing with you. I know it's not.
Well,
Man.
What's Star Citizen saying it's getting destroyed, are they?
Because they go with the flow.
Yeah, as far as we know, chat, people that watch the cider, it's just getting a revamp. It's not getting destroyed, but we'll see. I like it. I like the fact that they're moving it above Orison. I think it's only a minor thing, but it might make the game a little bit easier. Hopefully, we can quantum jump to it, and that way we don't have to do the whole 160 kilometer, whatever it is, fly out of atmosphere. Oof, it's painful. But yeah, it's a little thing that it's just obviously just making it in line with the rest of the space stations. Apart from that, What are your thoughts in general regarding the episode? I thought it was really good. Like, I know obviously we can't have these sort of episodes all the time, but like this really does make up for the fact that we haven't had Star Citizen live for 2 weeks. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Yeah.
I do feel like this was a big makeup,
Mm-hmm.
and I am looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, Star Citizen live, and we also find out about CitizenCon.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite segment, favorite thing coming? Well, if you had to name one, what would it be?
Redeemer.
Okay. I'm going to be a little bit different. I'm going to say mining asteroids with the explosive devices. Just because of the fact that it might end up sounding half as decent as Elite Dangerous does with their ice core mining or deep core mining, and if they can pull that off, I'm going to be a very, very happy fox, ferret, whatever thing I am. Panda, fox, I don't know what he is. Apart from that, guys, obviously let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. What was your favourite aspect of Inside Star Citizen? Do you like it when we go through and we do this sort of stuff? We might actually do this live at some point. I don't know. We'll have to talk to ferrets. But let us know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. As to your favourite section, and if you did like this video, smack that that thumbs up button, and obviously we'll know to continue to do this or not. Apart from that, guys, obviously this video has been helpful. Please pack that like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. And ferrets, want to say meow? Ferrets.
I said roar.
Did you?
Yeah.
Your microphone's not working sometimes.
I think your microphone's not working, because you just don't hear me.
That would be your microphone then.
No.
So you just cut out then. I heard no. And then cut out.
No.
Alright, guys. Apart from that, apparently Ferret says raw. And apart from that, guys, have a great night. Enjoy. And we'll see you in the next demonetized video. Bye.